Okay, here we go. I think we're playing now. Are we playing now? God damn it. Nope, there's back. Okay. All right. So, here we are with another DC Multiverse unboxing, and this is Sinestro Parallax. It's Sinestro and the Parallax armor from Green Lantern. See, it says the Green Lantern on there. Nice piece of artwork from the back. I believe that's Doug Mankey. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, which is unfortunate because he's a great artist, and I have no idea how to pronounce his name. So I remember when I was younger, when I was a young man back in the 1990s, and my sisters were, I think, just like at the end of their elementary school years, maybe into middle school. Sometimes they'd read the comics that I would bring home with me, and one of them was called Major Bummer, which was drawn by Doug Mankey. They really loved that comic. But Earth Dude is here. He says, "We Batman." Yes, we are. So yeah, I've had this one for a while. I got him when he was marked down at Target because he was a Target exclusive, I believe. Yeah, gold label on there. And I wish I'd been able to buy a second one because I was never able to get the Hal Jordan Parallax outfit, and I could have repainted him into a Hal Jordan figure. Just popped a new head on there and repainted it green, and that would have been a really cool Hal Jordan Parallax figure. But oh well, I got this one. So, and he does look very regal in his Parallax armor, doesn't he? Yeah, Sinestro is one of my favorite villains. I think I've established this fairly well, and I actually have over here the standard Sinestro figure in his Sinestro core uniform. This was one of those collector edition figures, and I wish I had been able to get the one of him in his green outfit. They had one in green where it had kind of like a yellow around the edge, like it was the yellow was spreading out from the emblem, like he was a Green Lantern who'd become corrupted. I think they did the same thing in the Green Lantern movie for the 5U that watched that in the audience right now. So Earth Dude says, dusted off 2 years of neglect on my airbrush. Well, that's cool. Hopefully you'll do some really cool stuff with that. My mom has an airbrush she was wanting to give me, but I keep forgetting to get it from her. I keep forgetting to, she keeps forgetting to give it to me. Actually, we'd meant to go through my stepdad's old records because I think that my old Michael Jackson Thriller album is mixed in with his records. So Bobby Wald says, you know what would be cool is if they got some glow in the dark elements to be the Lantern core. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. I'd love to see like Green Lantern already has like white gloves. I mean, I got John Stewart right here so we can see it. Like you could mold those in like glow in the dark plastic, and I think that would look really cool. Glow in the dark on the white of his emblem. Maybe work some glow in the dark elements into the green. Make sure it's green plastic still. Earth Dude says going to make a Mossman Mega Constructs out of Beastman. That should be awesome. I'll look forward to seeing that. I had the regular Beastman that they made, or not Beastman, the regular Mossman that they made. I was lucky enough to find that one, so that's one of the ones I do have. Anyway, let's go ahead and open him up. So yeah, I sat on him for a while. He was one of those in that big stack of multiverse figures that I've now actually worked through. This is one of the last of those. I don't have very many of those left. So yeah, and it worked out perfectly because I've got two other Green Lantern figures that I can open this week, and I am going to do those in the rest of this week. I'm sorry that there's only going to be 3 episodes this week, but work's been kind of crazy. Like it's been one of those periods where like like I'm literally working every single day. I don't get a day off right now, and that's fine because I was going through a period where I wasn't getting enough hours, and I'd much rather be exhausted with some money in the bank than broke and exhausted. If those are my only, I'll take being a little extra exhausted to be a little less broke. How about that? So here we go. Same piece of artwork that we had on the back of the package. Here's what the back of the trading card looks like. And it reads, Sinestro, Parallax, Green Lantern, data file, real name Thal Sinestro. That's more of a modern thing, I think. I don't think he had a first name when he was first created. His name was simply Sinestro, and that was what we called him. And the Guardians of the Galaxy had no problem giving their power ring to a guy named Sinestro, who looks kind of like Satan. But he's still one of my favorite supervillains. Maybe that's because why he's one of my favorite supervillains is because he looks kind of like Satan. But anyway, proud Thal Sinestro of Korugar loved order. To preserve it, he pursued power in all its forms and became one of the most feared villains in the cosmos. He founded his own corps of cosmic terrorists by dominating the cosmic entity known as Parallax. Sinestro became the Lord of Fear. He remains one of the most powerful beings in creation. Now, my favorite look for Sinestro is still the old blue costume. And I've noted before how, like, you know, a lot of people prefer the yellow costume to the blue costume, and I get it. I understand why. It does make more sense for the guy with the yellow power ring to be wearing a yellow costume, doesn't it? But you know, the heart wants what the heart wants, and I grew up with Sinestro in a blue uniform, and that's the Sinestro that I remember. So while I like the yellow costume and I think it's really cool, I still prefer the blue costume. That's just me. That's just my opinion. Now, thankfully, in the Superpowers line, they gave us both a blue and a yellow Sinestro. But in Multiverse so far, we've only gotten this yellow Sinestro and the Parallax Sinestro. Now, I went through all that just basically to make the point of I really like the original Sinestro costume, whether it's colored blue or yellow. This is still basically the classic Sinestro costume. It's a little different, but not too much different. This is vastly different, but it's still really cool. And if this was the only Sinestro figure that I'd been able to get, I think I'd be satisfied with it. But I'm glad I got the more classic style one too. That's what I'm saying. So, but I'm definitely happy to have this one as like as an alternate take, as a alternative look for the character. So I'm snipping all the rubber tabs, and it looks like he's got one around each wrist / forearm and one around each ankle / shin. It's kind of a little bit in between, and then he's got the double rubber tabs around the torso, but it's wrapped around him in such a weird way because they got it wrapped over the shoulder plates, and I'm afraid that that's going to cause some problems because they're kind of biting into those a little bit. It looks like they're soft plastic, and it's two different rubber tabs. I thought it was one single rubber tab stretch over the whole thing, but no, it's two separate rubber tabs they had to do this with. Two separate double rubber tabs. That is really annoying, and hopefully that doesn't mess up his shoulder armor too much. The head sculpt is really good, very reminiscent of Ethan Van Sciver's version of Sinestro, and I know he's a somewhat controversial figure in comics these days, but he's still a very talented artist as far as I'm concerned. So, and he did a lot of good work on Green Lantern. So even though he might be kind of controversial, I don't mind having action figures in his style. Earth Dude says, dude gives a bad vibe. He certainly does. He's not named Sinestro for nothing. And also says, I'd love to rock a mustache like that. Yeah, I tried to grow just a mustache before, and I wound up looking like Ron Jeremy. This was back when I had hair. So I think if I did it now, I just wind up looking like, well, Ron Jeremy now, because he's more bald. I'd have to grow the skullet. He's kind of more bald up on top, but he's having some problems right now, you know, and it's like, you know, not entirely not of his own doing, you know what I mean? So that's an unfortunate thing to talk about. Anyway, looks like the shoulders did not get too messed up by the rubber tabs, and that's good. I do see like a slight notch right here, and a slight notch right here, and right here. I don't know if you can see those on the camera, but I can see them. And maybe if I apply a blow dryer or some hot water to it, I might be able to get them out. So this is very much based on the Parallax costume that was originally worn by Hal Jordan, which of course was a green costume because he was still using Green Lantern power that he'd stolen out of the battery when he went bad. But Jeff Johns came in and retconned all that away, and he's Hal Jordan's like now back to being a good guy. And I know that Jeff Johns is a controversial figure for a lot of reasons these days. I know the Snyder fans aren't fond of Jeff Johns, and Greg Rucka was recently talking some stuff about Jeff Johns and saying that he fostered an abusive environment at DC Comics or whatever. And but again, he's a talented dude, and I've liked a lot of his comics, even if I don't like a lot of things he's done in real life. But I did enjoy that Justice Society run, and the guy was responsible for bringing Green Lantern back to its rightful glory. Went from being a book on the verge of cancellation to being one of DC's biggest sellers, and was one of the few books that, like, when they did the New 52, they didn't really reboot Green Lantern because Green Lantern was selling really well, so they still wanted to keep on with that money. Green Lantern and Batman, those mostly didn't get touched. Those mostly avoided the New 52 stank. So Batman, I think, even got a little worse than Green Lantern, but probably because Jeff Johns wasn't working on Batman at the time. And he does have, I'm pretty sure this is a piece that was created for this figure. Most of this is going to be reused from the Hal Jordan figure, I think. I don't know for certain because I don't have the Hal Jordan Parallax figure, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly a repaint. But obviously this hand is not. This hand is new because it's the left-handed Sinestro Green Lantern ring, and it is a different hand from the standard Sinestro because he doesn't have a glove; he just has a cuff. Whereas this one has a cuff that extends down and kind of becomes a glove. It's kind of glove-esque. I don't know. Anyway, and the head sculpts are entirely different. I would have thought they would have just reused the same head sculpt, but they didn't. And they both look a lot like Ethan Van Sciver's version of Sinestro, but they both look a lot different from each other. And I got to say, of the two of them, I'm glad that they did an updated head sculpt because I like this head sculpt a lot better. This one, I think, has a little bit more of that classic Sinestro style with the features are just a little bit more exaggerated. He's got a little bit of a Ming the Merciless thing going on, if you know what I mean. And that's definitely a good thing. Ming is another one of my favorite villains. But I think I'd mentioned at the time that I felt like the hairline was too low on this one, and I kind of feel like they fixed it on the newer Sinestro. It's an old figure, but it's a newer figure. This one, I kind of felt like they made Sinestro a little too classically handsome. And Sinestro probably shouldn't really be that good of a that handsome of a guy. Lewis Goodman says Austin Powers. Man, I think I might have missed something. Yeah, baby, yeah. But yeah, they did a good job with this head sculpt. So Earth Dude says cheers to Lewis Goodman. Lewis Goodman's here, so it's always good to have more people in the chat. So welcome again. Let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. So Sinestro can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders, but they're going to bump into this armor piece here. So be wary of that. He does have the cool butterfly joints, so those move around pretty much any which way you want to. He's got a bicep swivel, so the bicep rotates all the way around. He's got double jointed elbows, and this one seems like it's a little bit stuck at the upper part of the arm. Let's try the other elbow and see if we have better luck with that one. Yeah, that's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. I'll have to loosen up this one again a little bit later on my own. He's got the cool Mcfarlane wrist articulation, so these wrists can move around pretty much any which way you want to. So that's good. He's got the cool Mcfarlane torso articulation, so he can bend this way and that. Bend back about that far. There we go. That's a good flying pose. Bend forward about that far. Of course, the torso rotates all the way around where the rib cage meets the abs and where the abs meet the trunks. Sinestro's got just a little bit of wobble here, and not a whole full articulation. Doesn't rotate all the way around, but it's enough to give you a little bit of posability. Sinestro can kick up about that far and back about that far. And then he's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. He does not have a boot cut, but that's fine because Sinestro has the cool Mcfarlane ankle articulation, which rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the foot. and rotates or all around where the ankle meets the shin and where the ankle meets the foot. That's what I meant to say. And then if I can get it back in the right pose, ankle can point down about that far, point up about that far, and then he's got toe articulation just to show off. So yeah, pretty cool figure. And if this was the only Sinestro figure I was able to get, I think I'd be fairly happy with him, even though it's not the classic Sinestro look, but it's still like I think a really cool Sinestro look. And maybe this could have become his permanent outfit. I don't think I would have minded if they'd have made this his permanent outfit. Max Games and Toys is here, and he says, "Hello there, General Kenobi." I said that part. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it for Sinestro, I think. Unfortunately, Max showed up right at the end of the show. But Earth says, "Ayo, Max Games and Toys, dude." All right. So yeah, really cool figure. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We got 2 more figures to go over in this little Green Lantern mini theme, and they're both figures of Hal Jordan. So one of them is I think it was a Walmart exclusive. Does he have any weapons? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he's got this little critter. I forget who this is, but it's one of the other Yellow Lanterns. I think he's actually another Yellow Lantern, not just a ring construct, but it could be a ring construct. You could kind of wrap him around his arm a little bit, I think, since he got that curly tail. But we'd probably want to get it just right. Maybe if I turn the hand up that way, and then he can kind of rest in the hand. Oh, that's cool. If I can get it to stay, bend that wrist up a little bit. You'd have to balance it exactly right, but there we go. He can hold it like that, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, but since Max is here, I will remind everyone again that I've got a lot of Masters of the Universe stuff on the way, and I'm probably gonna start opening some of that stuff up right after I finish up these Green Lantern figures. Like, I still got more DC Multiverse stuff to go over, and it's mostly Superman stuff, but I want to do that when I can do a show with Captain Half Fun, because we're supposed to open up this guy when I do a stream with him. So that's why I'm procrastinating on that. It may be madness, but there is method in it. Max Games and Toys asked if I will buy the 2000X Mondo figure, and unfortunately not. Those Mondo figures are it's a little bit out of my price range, so I tend to not get those. But I do think they're really cool, and if you get them and you do a video on them, I will definitely look forward to watching it. So, but I do still have a lot of cool Master Universe stuff coming up. We got the Masterverse versions of New Eternia, Tila, and Beastman, and Cobra Khan, and New Etheria, She-Ra, and then I've got the latest round of cartoon collection figures. I got all 3 of them. So I got Whiplash, I got Bo, and I got Shadow Weaver. I got the Thundercats wave. I got the entire first wave of Thundercats. I already opened Lion-O because I was too excited about that one. But I've got Battle Cat. I've got Cheetara. I now have Cheetara, and I've got Mumra, Skeletor, whatever you would call him. I got him. And then I got the Thundercats version of He-Man from the second wave, but I don't have any of the other second wave ones. Maxime says $100 for a 7-inch. I'll pass to. Are they 7? I thought those were like 12-inch. But yeah, like they're really nice figures. I wouldn't even go so far as to say they're overpriced, considering all the bells and whistles and accessories and whatnot that come with them. I think like they're actually fairly priced, if I'm being honest. But like, I only have so much to spend on frivolous things like action figures. As much as I love action figures, like, I can't eat action figures and I can't sleep inside of action figures. Well, not yet. They have to invent shrinking technology, and then I'm sure I can figure out a way to do it. But yeah, like it's just a little too much. I tend to not like to spend more than $50 on an action figure if I can avoid it. And the thing is, like with something like Masters of the Universe, I know if I bought one of them, I wouldn't want to stop at one. I wouldn't want to just have He-Man. I wouldn't want to just have Skeletor. At the very least, I'd want to have He-Man and Skeletor. And if I'm going to have He-Man, I want to have Teela. If I'm going to have Skeletor, I want to have Evil-Lyn and Beast-Man. And, I've got Beast-Man, so I got to have Man-at-Arms now, don't I? And, what if they make a King Randor or a Scareglow or, I'm Merman. How can I not have Merman? So you see, we're talking like spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on action figures already. And I'm just talking about characters that came out in the first wave mostly. So so yeah, for the sake of my financial stability, I have to kind of pass on the Mondo figures, unfortunately, but they do look amazing. And I know a friend who has some, so they are really cool. Uh, and yeah, Max says yesterday Mondo revealed 7-inch figures of 2000X He-Man on 100 and Clawful on 125 bucks. Wow. So yeah, and Bobby Wald says that's the exact reasoning I tell my wife. Yeah. But anyway, that's it for Sinestro. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe. And all off on YouTube stuff down below. YouTube likes when I say like and subscribe. So I like to say like and subscribe because anything that YouTube likes, I like to do because then they send more people my way that can like and subscribe. And since they like it when I say like and subscribe, and other people hear me say like and subscribe, and they like and subscribe, then we all like and subscribe, and that's all a lot of fun. Earth Dude says, I'm not coughing up $80 for a 2-inch Mossman Mega Constructs, so I'm painting my own. See, exactly. So, like I said, I was lucky that I found that Mossman at the time. And if I'd have known how hard to find that figure was going to be, I probably would have picked up the other one they had too. But God, what was in that wave? There was Mossman and Prince Adam and Trapjaw. I managed to get all of them, so that's good. But yeah, like I think I was able to get at least most of like the major characters that I would like to have. I think there's still a few that like I wasn't able to get that I would like to get one day, but that's neither here nor there. Earth Dude says, take care, dude. Thank you. Sean Franklin is here and he says hi. And unfortunately, Sean Franklin showed up right at the tail end of the episode, which is too bad because I always like seeing Sean Franklin. I always like seeing Sean Franklin in pretty much any stream, not just my own. I see him in some other people's streams too, like Skywalker the Jedi, for example. Earth Dude says, Orco's near impossible to find. Yeah, see, I didn't even know there was an Orco. So, but anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, I will be back with Green Lantern himself, Hal Jordan. And I don't have the figure over here with me, but I can pretty much show you which figure it is. It's this figure, but they repainted it and gave it a slightly different head. So we're going to have this one to compare it to. But imagine this guy, but in really cool metallic green paint. And you pretty much got an idea as to what I'm talking about. Here's an Ethan Van Sciver comic right here. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.